Fly with me on the wings of a story. Take me to some place you know. Run with me down roads you have traveled. I want to follow where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together, there's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of a story. Time's all we need, my friend. Come story with me. Tell me a story about places you have been. Tell me a story about adventures you have soloed in. Let me see the faces, the places and more. Let me see things I could never see until you open the story's door. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Take me to some place you know. Run with me down roads you have traveled. I want to follow where you choose to go. Sail with me down the rivers of your memory. We'll sail together, 'cause there's so much to see. Fly with me on the wings of your story. Time's all we need, my friend. Come story with me.
I'm Ken Medema, and I have the privilege of being your host for the next little while on this program of stories and songs from the inside that we're calling Marked for Life. The stories are being told by my friend Nancy Sehested. I've known Nancy for a long time now, 40 years maybe or more. I've known Nancy as a college student, as a seminary student. I've known her as a pastor of several churches. And for 13 years, she was a prison chaplain, working both in maximum and minimum security prisons. And that's where our stories originate today. Nancy has written this amazing book called Marked for Life. And what we propose is to have Nancy tell you some stories that have come from her work as a prison chaplain. And then I will do my best to try to turn those stories into song. So let me introduce to you my dear friend and colleague, Miss Nancy Sehested. Howdy, Nancy, how are you?
Good. It is wonderful. It is great. A terrific joy to story with you, Ken Medema.
Well, we've done a lot of storying together over the years. I remember lots of conferences where we have worked together. You have preached, I have sung. I would always like to reverse it someday. I'd like to sing a song and then tell you, hey, do a sermon based on my song. But we haven't done that yet.
We haven't. We're going to try that one sometime.
Let's try that.
Well,
so
I am really grateful for our friendship over all these years. With you and Janie, it's just been a real delight in my life. So thank you.
And your sister Abigail, who works with us at Interlude, and my manager, Beverly Vandermolen, are also working with us. They are jointly producing this event. So we've got 2 artists and 2 producers. So let's hope that the producers all agree on what we should do. So why don't we begin with your first story today?
Okay. I would like to just say a word of introduction about these stories. As you said, I was a prison chaplain for 13 years in both medium and maximum security prisons for men. And really, I never imagined that that's the kind of work that I would do. But you know, when one door closes, another 13 can clang behind you. And so much of my time, I felt uniquely unqualified to be in that position. Partly, I just felt I was very naive to this whole system. And I felt worlds away from most of the people who found themselves in prison. There's a lot I didn't know, but I did know that God has a particular fondness for showing up among lives in the ruins and really likes to use us flawed human beings for redemptive purposes. So I became a witness, and I bore witness to the tragedy of lives that were stuck in a very punitive system. But I also bore witness to the spirit of hope that emerged from those impossible circumstances. There are so many great books that give political and social analysis of that criminal justice system. As you know, probably already, like Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson and The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. And I hope that you have opportunities to read those books or see the movie Just Mercy to look at these very critical issues of our time. My book, Marked for Life, is simply a book of stories of my personal encounters within that unjust system of incarceration. But my hope is that these stories shed some light on that unseen world and expand our capacity to engage in the restoration of lives. So with that in mind, I offer this first story. It wasn't the blood on the stairs that sent me racing down the hallway, or the repeated cries of, "Oh my God," that turned me away. It was simply this: I could not breathe. I needed air that was not saturated with pepper spray. With eyes burning, I coughed and sputtered my way back to where I could breathe again. 2 nurses and 6 officers bolted down the corridor to the housing unit where the assault had happened. No one invited me to go along, of course. They were the first responders, not me. They had retractable batons, pepper spray, and handcuffs. They could stop the flow of blood or patch a gash of flesh. But me, I was useless, non-essential staff. Staff materialized from all directions. I raced with them down the central hallway with the urgency of an ambulance driver. But unlike them, I made a quick U-turn at the red-stained stairwell and parked myself against a wall where I could gulp in the air and watch from a distance. A nurse accompanied by several officers swiftly pushed the victim in a wheelchair toward the gatehouse and the incoming ambulance. When he passed by me, he was still conscious, pressing bloody towels against his neck. I recognized this big, muscular man, and I couldn't imagine that anyone would be messing with him. Who was a Goliath of a person who attacked him? I didn't know what to say, but I flung out a prayer to him. "Luther, God is with you. Mercy to you." I heard a faint, "Thanks, chap," as I watched door after door being opened for him and the emergency crew. One day later, I saw Luther through the solitary confinement cell window. He showed me his stitches. Almost 200 trailed down his face and neck. He said he felt lucky to be alive. I agreed that he was truly fortunate and asked what had happened. "Barton jumped me. That's all I know." That was not all he knew. I was sure of that. And it was maddening to think that I would never know. I was given permission to see Barton. He was no Goliath, more like an average-sized man in the middle years of his life. He was fully shackled and was led into the conference room by 3 officers. He slowly eased down into the plastic chair at the far end of the table from me. Officers watched closely through the large glass window in the door. I couldn't believe it when I heard you attacked Luther. What happened? He gave no answer. I reminded him about the words that he had spoken to his brothers in the pipe ceremonies. Be careful how you act. What you do reflects back on all of us. Isn't that what you said? Yes. Yes, I know, he said. Please tell the circle how sorry I am. The circle? That's it? I pointed out that he had just earned at least 5 years in solitary confinement. I know, chap, but I just couldn't let some things go on. So this was about defending your honor, your reputation? I was defending more than that. I was defending my life. He spoke calmly. This is my house for the rest of my life. I've got to live here with these guys side by side, in this prison or the next one or the one after that, shipped all over this state 1 year after another. This is my life, chap. I had no other choice. I was a calamity of emotions. No matter what reason Barton gave me, I wouldn't have found it satisfying. I took a deep breath, placed my folded hands on the table, and leaned over the chasm between us. Barton, those are some of the saddest words that are ever spoken. I had no other choice. I slammed a hand down on the table. That can't be true. It just can't be. An officer immediately opened the door and asked if I was okay. Just fine. The door closed as the eyes of the officers remained on us. We stared at the table through an uneasy silence. The chain around Barton's waist and wrist clanged as he shifted his weight in the chair. And he said, I guess there was a choice. I guess there was.
Sometimes it climbs all over me. Sometimes I just don't know where to turn. Sometimes it climbs all over me. Sometimes the fire in my soul just burns. Sometimes I just can't stand it. Sometimes I think I'll explode. Sometimes I just can't bear it. There's no way to make this good. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you try. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how you cry. Sometimes it climbs all over me. Sometimes I just don't know how to go. Sometimes it climbs all over me. Sometimes I feel the fire in me flow. I gotta strike out. I gotta move out. I can't take this. I'm breaking up. I'm blowing up, I'm coming all apart. Is there nothing I can do? Is there no way to get through? Is it possible to forgive? Is it possible to make peace? Is it possible? Is it possible? All my life I've tried my best. All my life I've worked so hard. All my life I've sought and sought to live so carefully, to be on my guard. And then there's just one moment where I fall down on my ground. There's just one moment where the fire becomes unbound. And there's just one moment where there is no turning back. Just one moment for the restraint that I lack. And I'll be paying for this moment for years and years and tears. I'll be paying for this moment for years and years and tears. I'm sorry. Forgive me, and I'll take the pain, I'll take the tears, I'll take the years and years and years. What I need to know is that I am forgiven.
At the end of one of religious service, the inmates lined up at the door for the routine pat-down search before leaving. With a long line in front of him, Wesley seized the waiting moments and went to the piano. He was a slender reed of a fellow, but the guys called him Fats after Fats Waller. Lost in his playful jazzy tunes, he didn't notice that he was the last one in the room. I walked over to him and said, "Wesley, you'll need to come back another time to play the piano. The officer..." "Get a move on," boomed the officer's voice. "We don't have all day." Wesley moved quickly to the door. As his arms straightened out for the search, the officer patted down the sides of his body and said, "You think you're something in here, but remember, you ain't nothing but a damn inmate." Silently, Wesley left without saying a word. Standing beside the officer, I asked, "You having a bad day?" Shaking his head, he huffed, "Every day in here is a bad day." The next time I saw Wesley, I asked him how he handles getting yelled at like that from an officer. And he said, "I go to my cell and write down my name."
Do you know my name? Do you know who I am? Do you know lots of things in my life. I've gone through troubles, I've gone through strife. I've been through water and I've been through flame, but I'll be okay as long as I remember my name. Do you know my name? Do you know my shame? Do you know just who I really am? Do you know my name? Love me by name. I'm so much more than a number or a badge. Love me by name. Speak my name, say it loud. Speak my name before the crowd. Speak my name and say it clear. Speak my name, let me hear you say my name. Because you can tear me up, you can strike me down, you can hit me hard, send me to the ground, but you can't take away who I really am. You can't take away my name. Say, Jesus, do you know my name? Say, Jesus, have you seen my shame? When this life is over and I'm written up in some book, do you suppose that they'll know my name?
My office door was propped open to hear the choir members practicing. The call for chow was minutes away. One more verse of I've Got Peace Like a River, and I'd have a few peaceful moments to myself. But then an explosive voice rose above the chorus. You shouldn't be in the choir. You don't know how to sing worth shit. I ran out of my office. Choir is over today, I shouted. Leave, all of you leave now. They ignored me. So I jumped up on a chair to make myself big and yelled louder. Fists started flying. I raced back into my office and called for help. Seconds later, the lieutenant and 3 officers arrived. Back away, hands up, now. The fighters were pulled apart, while the other choir members scattered like ants to the corners of the room. Handcuffs were slapped on the offending parties. Within minutes, the chapel was emptied and restored to calm. I sank like an anchor in my chair. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. It was nothing more than a schoolyard brawl, I told myself. Teachers see this every day, I reasoned. Staff go home in one piece, usually, I assured myself. Over the years, I tried to practice nonviolent resistance. But in the confines of quick tempers and sudden assaults, my training seemed limp and naive. I reached into my arsenal of chocolates in my bottom drawer, and as I popped a few M&Ms in my mouth, the lieutenant appeared at my office door. He offered no greeting, no recap of the event. He simply pointed his finger at me and said, "You don't like it, but you need me. And I don't like it, but I need you." "Yes, Lieutenant, yes, that's true. I depend on you and your officers for the safety and security of this floor. But what do you need me for?" "I need you to keep me from using undue physical force. I need you to teach me another kind of force." With his pronouncement hanging in midair, he left. Another kind of force.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I never thought in all my life I would hear that big brawny lieutenant just standing there. He said to me, "Chap, I need you to show me how to find a different kind of force to live this maddening life through. I want peace like a river. I want peace like a river. I want peace like a river in my soul. I need peace like a river. I need peace like a river. I need peace like a river in my soul. So keep on singing it. Sing it in the choir. Keep on singing it when tempers start to fire. Keep on singing it when voices and fists get raised. Keep on singing it. So hard to sing, so hard to sing, so hard to sing, so hard to say. I need peace like a river. I need peace like a river. I need peace like a river in my soul. Please give me peace like a river. Give me peace like a river. Give me peace like a river in my soul.
As I greeted the men at the door for the midweek prayer service, I was surprised to see Blake. Chap, I didn't come for the service. I came to see you. I got to see you right now. Ushering him into my office, he started talking even before he sat down. You got some time? Oh, hell, it doesn't matter. This is life or death. I want to kill a guy. Anyone in particular? Yeah, a guy on my block. He called me a liar and a snitch. I got to stand up to him. I got to keep my good name. Well, Blake's good name was usually associated with words like annoying and mouthy. I told him it sounded like his mind was already made up. Well, I started thinking about it, he said. I got 6 years left. And if I do this guy in, even if I just beat him up real bad, I'll get some more time. And I got plans once I get out of here. So I figured that I'd come see you first and see if you have any ideas. Well, can't you just avoid this guy? No way. I hear his lies about me and I just want to smash him. But you haven't yet. That's good. What does your religion tell you? This got nothing to do with religion. Blake anchored his arms on top of his crossed legs. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You want me to say that my religion believes in respect all life. You want me to say that my religion says don't hurt anybody. But chap, that's just not practical. You can't believe what we're up against in here. If I don't stand up to this guy, then everybody will think I'm weak. No can do. Why do you give a flying fig what that guy thinks about you? Blake, didn't you tell me that you liked reading The Lord of the Rings? Remember when they were going into battle and they were sure that their enemy would destroy them? Lady Galadriel said, hope remains while the company is true. You got some buddies to hang in there with you. Let that guy go. I'll bet you can come up with something. Blake jumped out of his chair and headed for the door. That's it. He stomped one foot and then the other, chanting, hope remains while the company is true. I wasn't sure of what I just witnessed, and I can't say I held out a great deal of hope for him. But the next afternoon, Blake returned with news from the front lines. Chap, I talked to my buddies. Then I sat up all night thinking about it. I even thought about some stuff I did in the past and how I made things worse. I didn't want a time in lockup over this guy. So when the canteen opened this morning, I bought 2 cups of coffee and a bag of chips. Then I asked the guy if he wanted coffee and we sat down at a table. I opened up the bag of chips and said, hey man, why don't we just lay this stuff down? He just kind of smiled and kept drinking the coffee. Then he ate all the chips. And that was it. That was it. Blake left with a wave, stomping his feet and chanting again. Hope remains while the company is true.
I want to lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside. down. I can't put it on the ground. It's like an albatross hanging around my shoulder. I can't put it down. I can't get braver and bolder. I can't lay this burden down. It's getting worse and worse with every passing day. It's like I can't release it. It's like I just can't cease it. No, no. I can't lay this burden down. Then I remember hope remains if the company is true. And so I'm coming now to stand here with you, my friends and my comrades, and I'll ask you what to do and what to say, and you'll surround me with your arms of love, and you'll take that albatross right from around my shoulder, and you'll help me lay that burden down today. Oh, I need you, my loyal company. Oh, I need you, my loyal friends. Stand by my side, hear my heart. Stand by my side, help me take apart this albatross round my shoulder. 'Cause in the morning I'm gonna lay down my burden next to that coffee cup, next to that coffee cup, next to that coffee cup. I wanna lay down my burden next to that coffee cup, down by that table side.
The interrupting voice of the loudspeaker announced, "Code 1 clear. Code 1 clear." Easy for them to say, I thought. Nothing was clear. Nothing. In that haze, it took me a moment to notice Lenny standing in my doorway. As a library clerk, he often brought us religious books that had strayed onto the wrong shelves. "Hey, Lenny, you got some books for us?" "No, ma'am. I got something to tell you." His long, straight hair was parted in the middle, flopping over his face. Over and over, his hands raked back the ends just enough to show a glimpse of his eyes. "Chap, I did something bad. Real bad. I just swallowed some razor blades." Immediately, I phoned medical. They told me to give them a minute while they cleared an examining room. "Lenny, why'd you do it?" "I don't know," he said. "I just felt real bad." I fell into silence, swallowing the sharp edges of my own thoughts of inadequacies. I was a lousy chaplain and wasn't making a bit of difference and didn't even know what to say to this man. My face must have contorted something awful, because Lenny said, Chap, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I didn't want to tell him how sick I felt that we failed him, that we hadn't figured out how to heal the mind enough to keep people from tearing up their insides. You know, Lenny, it's just that some days have more sadness than all of us can swallow. Promise me this. The next time you feel like putting a razor blade in your belly, how about coming to see a chaplain first? We know how to sit with all kinds of sadness. And we even have a few stories that might make you smile.
Right now I want to just give up. There's far too much poison in my cup. Right now I want to put it all away. I don't reckon I can make it one more day. Right now, I just want to have it done. I don't care about one more day in the sun. Right now, I just want to be through with all the madness and all the sadness. If I could just let it end, go round that final bend, make that final turn. Even if I burn in hell, I don't really care. It could not be much worse than this. Everything's gone amiss. I think I've got your number somewhere. And maybe just before I go, I might put in a call. After all, what can it hurt? I'm down in the dirt. And if you answer, I'll just tell you what I'm planning now to do. And you can tell me one more story to help me think it through. So I'm calling you, and I'm texting you, and I'm emailing you, 'cause I can't stand this aloneness. I am calling you, and I am texting you, and I am reaching out to you, 'cause I can't take this anymore. And I know just before I call it quits, just before I end it all, I want to talk to you just for a moment. Just for one moment.
One of the worst mistakes I made as a chaplain started with a turkey sandwich. I brought food for the program staff lunch only to learn it was postponed. With more sandwiches than I could eat, I spread the fixings on my desk and invited the inmate chaplain clerks to have at it. I knew better. We weren't allowed to give anything to an inmate. There were really good reasons for that policy, but at the time I couldn't remember them. The clerks were eyeing the food when suddenly 2 officers walked into my office. I confess, yes, I'd offered the sandwiches to the clerks, but they hadn't touched them. But you know the rules. Yes, I know the rules. The clerks were handcuffed and led to solitary confinement. I was placed under internal investigation. During my drive home from work that day, my mind replayed the scene of the 2 clerks being handcuffed and led away. I was the cause. My body desperately tried to purge the day. The usual 45-minute drive home took longer, interrupted by three stops on the side of the highway to heave. I kept thinking, I was 3 years in a medium security prison, and it looks like I won't make it 3 months at the maximum unit. After 3 days, I was summoned for my interrogation. 3 staff officers sat at the end of a long conference table, while I sat at the other end in the lower regions of hell. The questioning commenced. Was there mayonnaise on the desk? No, mustard, brown. Was there lettuce on the desk? Yes, romaine. Was the bread in a bag or on a plate? In a bag, plastic. Was the turkey in a sandwich or on a plate? On a plate, paper. Did you offer turkey sandwiches to the chaplain clerks? Yes, I did. I was sent from the room while the investigating team deliberated. 10 minutes passed before I received the verdict. Chaplain, you won't be fired, but you have been charged with bad judgment and undue familiarity. You will be given a BG on your record. BG? I'd never heard of that. The only association that came to mind was bad girl. Were they charging me with being a bad girl? I could hardly wait to tell my husband. But then I asked, what exactly does BG stand for? Below good. Sign your name just below the charge. And the clerks, what about them? They will be released from SEG and reinstated in their jobs in the chaplaincy office. It was a miracle. As I left the prison, I walked down the stairs with an uncommon bounce of release. It was good that we all kept our jobs, of course, but it was more than that. I wanted to run up to everyone and anyone and tell them that I was below good. As a lifelong overachiever, I felt a measure of relief having my below goodness as a matter of public record. The truth was out. I was BG too.
All my life, I hear people telling me all my life, here's what you need to strive for. All my life, keep on getting better. All my life, these standards are before me. Mama said, Daddy said, brothers said, sisters said, teacher said, preacher said, everybody always said you got to be good. Yeah, you got to be good. All my life I kept trying to climb that ladder. All my life, you can't imagine how much it mattered. Look around, everyone, look around, see what you've done. Make mistakes, try to correct. Look around, try to connect to goodness. All my life, work so hard. All my life, be on guard. And then it comes, that awful day. And then it comes, in my way there stands this incredible, unbeatable wall. I run up against it. I fall on the ground. My face is all bruised. My hands are all bruised. And I turn around and look. And I've run up against the wall. No further I can go. I am not good. That much I know. And then the door in the wall comes open, and I hear the invitation. For those who are not quite good enough, and who never shall be, walk through the wall, through the open door, and let your soul be free. Below good is the best place to live, the place of truth. It's where you can take and you can give, so you can fly, knowing you don't need to meet someone's unreal expectations to be the best in the neighborhood, the city, and the nation. It's enough to give your soul to the walk along the road. It's enough to be a pilgrim just below good.
Marked for life. So many of the inmates said, "Chap, we've got the mark of Cain. We'll never get rid of it." It symbolized for them endless shame and failure and banishment. But I told them that wasn't really the story. Rather than a curse for killing his brother Abel, Cain was given a sign of protection from God against the vengeance of others. That's the mark of Cain. It was a mark for life, not death. It was the mercy mark. I imagine asking the administration if I could have a minute to greet all the newcomers to our prison. I wanted to stand at the receiving entrance with words like this: welcome. The cruelty and abuse that has been done to you, or that you have done to yourself or others, stops here. Here we practice a new way of being human together. Here we stop blaming. Here we practice taking responsibility for our lives, and we practice respect for yourself and others. Your story is not over. Change is possible. God is here. Peace to you. Come on in. Luke found his part in the work of mercy and being a redemptive change person. He became a blesser. I often reminded the inmates that they had the power to curse or to bless, as we all do. So Luke decided he wanted to be a blesser and that God would help him do that. He made it his vocation. He carried one-line blessings in his pocket, suitable for various occasions. He had blessings for inmates or staff who were grieving a death in their family. He had blessings for peace of mind amid the daily conflicts. He wrote blessings for food and visits, policies, transfers, classes, work, and weather. Chap, you need a blessing? I got one for you. Skimming the words from his pocketed papers, he found one for that moment in the hallway. May your acts of kindness and mercy be rewarded by seeing God smile in the face of someone whose need was met. We carry within us the power to bless and to redeem. Society could change if we revise our narrative about crime and punishment to emphasize the transformation of lives. It can begin with the eradication of our caste system of inequities in housing and education and healthcare. Don't we need each other to become more human and humane, and remember that we are all connected? Unchangeable things can change around us, within us, even now. Even now. May it be so.
Locked inside our skin, we live so far apart. What I wouldn't give to hear the beating of your heart. Trapped inside this flesh, as if inside some shell. Isolation is a game we don't play very well. Here we stand, so many separate people who are longing to be known, trying to deal with the aches that we feel because we hate to be alone. God of uniting, we stand in your presence, and this is what we pray. Close the gap with every passing day. Oh, we dream the day will dawn. We'll know and we'll be known. All things will be new again, and all the world be one. But this is not that day. Tomorrow's not yet here. Dare we take the risks of love and join to face our fears? So here we stand, so many separate people who are longing to be known, trying to deal with the ache that we feel because we hate to be alone. God of uniting, we stand in your presence. This is what we pray. Close the gap with every passing day.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for marking our lives with song,
And
with
thank you for
goodness
marking
and
mine.
mercy.
Oh my. Thank you for marking
Thank you.
mine with these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stories. Oh my goodness.
It's a great joy to team up with you anytime. Thank you, my
And
friend.
tell people now for sure how they can get a hold of the book Marked for Life.
Well, I'm sure it's just everywhere, but it's one of those that you can get on all the regular kinds of places that you can order books. It's called Marked for Life, A Prison Chaplain's Story by Nancy Hastings Sehested. And so, yeah, you should be able to get it easily.
Thank you, friends, for watching and listening, and we hope that you have been blessed by this. Let us know. You can email me at ken@kenmedema.com. Nancy, where can people write you if they want to ask more questions?
In Sehested at gmail.com.
Sehested, Sehested, N Sehested@gmail.com. Thanks, friends, for being a part of this hour, and we shall look forward to being together again. Have a wonderful day.
Peace to you.